telling that they've just gone the pace that Joe Fanning wanted to set on Universal, and they have very much played to his tune. That's not a criticism. A lot of these horses are that's the way they need to be ridden, but there was a chance of this, and the good thing about Universal is he's very versatile. He's perfectly happy to be there. He appeared to be almost dossing in front. He certainly wasn't keen or eager. The only horse who was slightly keen was Widmore Hall early on. He was a little bit fresh. He's run okay, giving £5 away, to be fair, but the winner has just had his own way. So Johnny Mercer was aware of it, and he has tried to do something about it from somewhere. He didn't give him, a ridiculous amount of rope, but when you're meeting a banging form rival who gets the trip very well, the one thing we didn't know before today was whether he'd be fully effective on fast ground. He is.
He never really had the kind of action that would suggest that he would necessarily be advantaged by cutting the ground. He's proved himself to be pretty versatile.
Very much so. I mean, versatile in terms of tactics, versatile in terms of ground, willing under pressure, and he's just a really progressive colt. He won a handicap at Lingfield 3 runs ago, a Group 3, now a Group 2. It's a fine example of good training to bring the horse gradually through. I think it was a fine example of how to ride from the front. Done it really, really nicely, and a fine example of what many people find attractive about horse racing, which is a really willing animal, giving all when asked.
Absolutely. Dandino has run his race. He's been produced to have every chance. He's run really well.
First run of the year, the winner's had a slight fitness edge, but you can see here he's locked horns or tried to lock horns from some way out, and he's run a stormer. First run for the Marco Botta yard, absolutely run really well. And Widmore Hall hasn't run badly. He's tried to take closer orders about 3 out, Jamie Spencer. He's given £5 away. He had been a bit keen. In the end, he's well beaten off. Noble Mission, we didn't learn any more about Noble Mission. He was held up last in the race. He never looked like getting to them, really. Remains to be seen what his ideal circumstances are.
The winner has options of the Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot, but also the Hardwick, which you figure might well suit him better. And after he won the St Simon Stakes, his trainer Mark Johnston was talking about a long-term aim being the Breeders' Cup Marathon. That morning, the morning of the St Simon victory, he'd entered him in that.
Well, that's very interesting. He does on this. What evidence we've seen in the last 2 runs, you can't believe dropping back to a mile and a quarter is going to be a plus. That would be hard to maybe gets his trip thoroughly. So of the races at Royal Ascot you mentioned, the Hardwick I guess is a better option. Again, it's a deeper company, it'll be different horses, and it won't be easy. There'll come a time he'll probably reach his level, but he's doing really well at the moment. The Group 3 and the Group 2 to his name in completely contrasting conditions, which is always a good.
It's been the mile and a half that's been the making of him, really.
Definitely gets it thoroughly, doesn't he? Really, really thoroughly. As I say, he's got the attitude to go with it. You still need that. You still need to want to try. He's still in front for a long time, and he still had to withstand the challenge from a good horse, and he's done it well. And he's really stuck his neck out, and it's a really admirable performance. Yeah,
tremendously likeable. And the jury's still out on Noble Mission.
Well, we didn't learn anymore. To be fair, just judging him on today, he just didn't work out for him. He's held up in last. He's from 2 furlongs into the race, it was looking difficult for him, and he didn't do anything to tell us anything we didn't already know.
So this is a progressive horse for Mark Johnston, really finding improvement at a mile and a half all the time. Just 4 years of age, he's gone from Handicap Company to Group 3, and now from Group 3 to Group 2, because he's won the Qatar Bloodstock Jockey Club Stakes for Joe Fanning and Mark Johnston.
Yeah, good performance, good courage shown by Universal. The winner at 11-4 of the Jockey Club Stakes. Second, Dandino, 9-4. Noble Mission went off 7-4 favourite, could finish 4th only of 4. Winning time 2:32.83 as expected, with the slow-ish early pace, 5.5 or more seconds slower than standard. There's been a bit of a delay at Thirsk ahead of this maiden, due off at 3:20. One of the horses, not sure which one, spread a plate before the start. Non-run here, number 7, or Renoir. You're the Boss is the 13-8 on favourite, 4-1 Cheval Gris, 8-1 Off Art, from 10s, 9s Lady Margot, and it's 12-1 Bar. Let's head back to Newmarket and Ollie.
With Joe Fanning, who's just steered Universal victory in the Jockey Club Stakes. Joe, he's so tough, isn't he? Really likeable type.
Yeah, he's tough. We couldn't see any pace. Mark said just let him bowl along. I suppose he was dusting a little bit early on, but once Johnny came to me, sort of headed me down the dip, but I always felt like I had a little bit left in him, you know.
Is he the type that just does enough out in front?
He does really, yeah. Today now, making it, he was just tossing away there, you know, so he's done well.
Played to your strengths, but you still think there's more to come from him?
Can't see why not, you know. He keeps improving, you know, so can't see why not. It's a nice, genuine horse, you know.
Did Dandino get in front? Did you have to battle back past him?
He did head me a little bit down the dip, but I always felt like I had a bit more left, you know, once I got him.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well done, Joe.
Great, thanks.
Meanwhile, back at Thirst, the runners have arrived down at the start. You're the Boss, as we mentioned, is the favourite for this. Odds on. James, he ran pretty well last time at Newmarket behind Music Master. Remember watching that race that day. Didn't think it was the strongest maiden for the time of the year at Newmarket. Generally, it normally is quite a strong maiden, the Alex Scott maiden at Newmarket. But nevertheless, in the context of this race, that was a performance that is enough of a standard setter.
Yeah, you've summed it up well, because I really don't like this horse at all. He's a horse he's a horse I'd be really keen to take on. He rolls over and likes his tummy tickled, in my opinion, and that's happened.
Sweet.
That's happened 3 times already in maidens, but he's going to fall in, I would have thought, here, because the main opposition to him, which is a horse I think if it was good to soft with on a galloping track, I definitely want to take this horse on. And I want to do it with Alan Swinbank's horse, who I think is probably going to be a better and heartier horse than him, Cheval Gris, when all is said and done. But I'm just scared, 7 furlongs on fast ground for a Verglas on his reappearance, that he just won't have the boot to handle You're the Boss, who's got that experience, albeit has left him, you know, an unsatisfactory horse. There's no money for Lady Margot, the reappearing David O'Meara horse as well. She's drifted out to 8 to 1. Her form's not as good as You're the Boss, but with that O'Meara next to her name, you would always shake in fright before taking her on. So again, I have no interest whatsoever in the 4 to 7 either way, back or lay. Probably what I would do here is a small stakes poke on Cheval Gris, but fully expecting that I could get a better price in running. Actually, I think he may well get outpaced a little bit on the fast ground. Should also mention Tim Easterby's Off Art that ran well enough. We haven't seen him for a year so far. And the only other one in the betting is Ron Barr's Midnight Warrior that's gelded for the first time, but you'd need some imagination to see him winning.
Okay, last one going forward. Here's Malcolm.
Goes in. That's it. They're all in. We're set to race. They're off. Racing for the live Tote Scoop 6. Information at totepool.com. Maiden Stakes. A little bit slow to go. The pale blue jacket of the Troyster. Good start by the black and yellow of Midnight Warrior. Also away well Erica Star Princess in the star jacket. And between horses in maroon and yellow is Off Art. Tucked in behind those, You're the Boss in the blue and yellow colours. A little bit wider of him is Silver Forest in the quarter jacket with the stars on the sleeves and the red cap. Then Absolute Diamond, the beige and red towards the inside. Cheval Gris is next in the field, racing third last. Followed by the yellow of Lady Margot, and the choice of the slow starter continues to race in the rear of the field. Paul Mulrennan's got that one at least 10 lengths off the leader, which is Off Art, who shows the way as they take the turn back towards the home straight. Passing the halfway point, then Off Art in front to Erica Star Princess racing second. Midnight Warrior is close up third on the fence. Down the centre, You're the Boss picking up nicely, followed through by Absolute Diamond, who's back in 5th position. Behind that one, trying to work a little bit closer, is Silver Forest, followed by Lady Margot and then Cheval Gris. Down to the final couple of furlongs they go. Off Art now grabbed by You're the Boss. Behind those, Erica Star Princess. The far side behind that is Midnight Warrior. Down to the final furlong and a half they go. Off Art digging in on that far side rail. You're the Boss having to work very hard to get up sides. They're inside the final half furlong. On the far side, Off Art. The near side, You're the Boss. Off Art digging really deep. Off Art is going on to score. Off Art has won it to You're the Boss in second. Midnight Warrior, Cheval Gris for fourth.
Off Art has outbattled You're the Boss to take this 7 furlong maiden at Thirsk. Returning, as James pointed out before the race, after almost a year off the course. Off Art for Tim Easterby and David Allen has obliged. James, you had some question marks over the favourite. What did you make of that?
Well, I'd like to compliment David Allen on a ride which probably made the difference, because his aggression here on Off Art, who, by the way, was signalled by the market there, was just short enough to signal after that long layoff that there was a bit of confidence behind him. He's a nice, moving, well-balanced horse, isn't he, Off Art? I like him a lot. I think if he stays sound, he'll go on. But the ride I mentioned was important because he really stuck it up to this You're the Boss, who doesn't like battling, doesn't like a finish. The head came onto one side, his effort flattened out. He'll win a maiden, You're the Boss. He'll fall in, but he's no warrior of the turf.
He certainly isn't. He's had his chances. He certainly had his chance this afternoon. But Off Art had too much resolve for the favourite, You're the Boss. As James said, good ride from David Allen. Luke Morris gave You're the Boss every chance and gave him a few encouraging taps of the whip, but that wasn't enough to force him past Off Art. Five furlong handicap at Goodwood is next for us. But before that, just confirm the result at Thirsk. Off Art, the winner at 7-1. Second, You're the Boss, the 7-4 on favourite. Midnight Warrior third at 12-1.
The Coral app.